Hey folks, this is a quick review for our zero date expiration trading for today, November the 11th, 2020. And I thought this might be a little bit more concise way to do this rather than putting up an entire hour and a half of a review of every single day's action. Although we did have some good action, we had some good communication and some good interaction in the trading room today, in the chat room today, and I appreciate that. I think that I'm finding as we do more and more of these, again, there's about 150 of us in this trading room every single day. About 100 of us or so are active. Although today was pretty full, I will say. It was nice to see well over 100 of the 150 of us in there active today. I'm finding more and more of you, and myself included, are finding value in just the interaction. Beyond the trading results, of course, just the interaction that we have. But this is a quick review of our day. It was a pretty textbook perfect day, I will say. Made a couple of mistakes during the day, but that's to be expected. It's rare, you know, when you get the perfect days, when you get the absolutely just spot on perfect days. A lot of that, we have to be honest, a lot of that is luck, and the market just doing what we wanted it to do or doing what we had hoped it would do. Of course, the market doesn't always cooperate like that. But today was pretty good, pretty spot on our technical analyses. Pretty decent job of our entry points, and so yeah, just really no adjustments today. The only thing that really was a little bit of a bummer was that we put in a second leg of puts, or a second tranche of puts into our trade, and we just kind of ran out of day to be able to fulfill the other side of that trade, the call leg. So, you know, we left maybe a little bit of buying power, on the table, but all in all, still a really good end of the day result. You can see that the market opened up right here at a nice gap, and it started to fall off a little bit, and then it came back up, and then it fell back off again. Generally speaking, you can see these times down here are in mountain time. That's my time zone. This would be the open of the 11th here. That's the opening bell right there. And we were just looking for some direction here. We needed some direction, and so we waited patiently. Usually we wait an hour into the trading day. On today's example, we had to wait a little bit longer than that. We had to wait actually quite a bit longer than that, past the 9 a.m. hour, to be able to see if we were going to break above or fall below this trading range that had been established. We did start to break above. As soon as that happened, that was just after, well, you can see right here, there's our fills. So there was our first fill right there at 9:46 a.m. So, you know, pretty long into the trading day, but we did get our first fill there where we sold the put leg. And that had nice confirmation. That was a perfect fill. That was an awesome fill. Very happy about this fill right here. The day went by, and you can see now at about 1 hour later, 10:58 a.m. Mountain Time, we put in the call leg. And that call leg, it wasn't timed perfectly. You can see that we had a really big candle right after we put that in. So we probably could have got a 60-cent fill on that rather than the 55. You know what? You're never going to catch the exact top. You're never going to catch the exact bottom. But we got a decent fill. We got a good fill on that. And we sold this call leg then up here. So this was our first put leg that we put in right down here. Then we sold this call leg up in here. And you notice at this point that we are a little, we're not equidistant, right? A little bit heavier with a positive delta rather than a negative delta. And we did that purposely with anticipation that we would come back down here. We thought that we were seeing some exhaustion in the buying here, and it took a little bit longer to kick in than we thought, but it did kick in, and we were correct there. And then as it came down again here, we thought we were going to get some support right in that area. And so we sold a second leg of puts. Now, a lot of reasons that I did that today. Number one was that my buying power, I had, I think, about $4,000. All I had was about $4,000. A lot of my money is tied up right now in other trades, and so I only had about $4,000 of capital to trade this with today. And so I started off with about $2,000. That was the initial commitment right there. Obviously, when we add the call legs, it doesn't add to the buying power issue. We've already put up the buying power down here. And so we're getting here later now into the day. You know, this is going on the 11 o'clock hour Mountain Time. And I'm thinking, man, I want to get the rest of my buying power invested. And so we probably jumped the gun here a little bit. Instead of waiting for some actual follow through, some actual decent confirmation on this downtrend having stopped right here, we went ahead and put in our second leg of puts, which is this line right here. And that proved a little scary as the day went on. It proceeded to come right down to that line. Fortunately, we've done, I think, a pretty good job of our technical analyses. We had aligned that with this previous level of support in there, which is all we really had to go off of. You go off of your previous support, you go off your previous resistance. So there was our previous support down in here, and that worked for us. That ended up holding for us. We tested it twice. We came down once and tested it, came down twice and tested it, but it ultimately held and bounced back nicely for us. And so we were not able to get a second call leg in. That cost me a little bit in my potential return. If you can do a 0 day to expiration trade perfectly, and what I mean by perfect is you get really good fills on your pricing, you get really good entry points. All of these entry points are timed well. And then the granddaddy of them all, you don't need any big adjustments, right? So there's a lot of stuff that has to fall our way to make this work out just absolutely perfect. You got to get good entry points, you got to get good fills, and you cannot be doing big adjustments throughout the day, right? But if you can hit on all of those, you can get double-digit returns every single day. You can get 10% or greater potential returns. And so, you know, I probably would have been more than a 10% return for the day had I been able to get that second call leg in. But as it sits, still 7.3%. And you say, you know, I can't really buy my own private island like I so desperately desire. I can't buy my private jet like I have on my vision board with $220. Yeah, I get that. You know, I've traded this strategy with as little as $1,000. I've traded it with as much as $1 million at some points, and very, very frequently with $250,000. You got to trade whatever you have available capital-wise at the moment, right? I mean, you trade what you got. But the thing that I've always tried to remember as a trader is trade to trade well. It doesn't matter if I'm trading 3,000 or 3 million. I want to trade well. I want to do good executions. I want to work for good fills. I want to have good entry points. And if you do that, the numbers will work out. And 7.3% is impressive, whether it is $3,000 or $3 million. So it ended up being a really, really solid day for us today. Obviously, we will be back at this again this coming Friday, and we'll post our results. Good, bad, or indifferent. At the end of every day, guys, we transparently post our results. So there you go. We'll talk to you soon.